I'm trying to get out of that bad habit of tinkering, but I'm looking at the squad and there's a few changes I really want to make. It's too early for this. It's only game week 2. Hello everyone, welcome to my game week 2 transfer plans and lineup for the weekend. The squad is obviously not locked in, but this is going to be a rough guideline as to how I plan to approach game week 2 after making a solid start in game week 1. And we will start off with the transfer, and it might come as a surprise considering it's only been one game, but after watching Tottenham, I do feel that Heung-min Son was very quiet during the game. Didn't really create that much, and Spurs don't look like they're a team that are really up for the fight at the moment. At the moment, there are heavy rumours that Gareth Bale will be joining the squads, and that may provide a boost, but it also may affect Son's minutes. Not likely, considering he plays on the left, and Bale is more than likely going to be playing on the right as an inverted winger, as is the way that Jose Mourinho usually likes his teams to line up. Spurs' run of fixtures is actually quite kind, as we all know, but for the time being, I do feel that there are potentially better options elsewhere. Mainly in the form of James Rodriguez at Everton. The Colombian orchestrator was at the heart of everything good that Everton did against Tottenham at the weekend. Valued at only £7.5 million, he's £1.5 million cheaper than Son, only owned by 11% of the game, and more importantly, he frees up funds for me to be able to finance a move for Manchester City and Man United players going forward into the following game weeks. So even though it's not confirmed, Heung-min Son is likely to leave and James Rodriguez comes in to free up £1.5 million in the bank. So this week we'll be going with a 4-4-2 formation. Of course, Hugo Lloris will maintain his place in goal and he will be my Spurs coverage defensively for the time being, as I do feel under Mourinho, Spurs are going to be less of an attacking threat throughout the season. He has an away fixture against Southampton, who did not particularly play that well against Crystal Palace, but will be looking to bounce back. However, their home form last year was 19th in the league, so it was appalling. It may well be a different story for a different year, but having said that, Hugo Lloris provides a safe pair of hands behind my back four, which consists of Trent Alexander-Arnold away at Stamford Bridge. Do not expect anything in the way of clean sheet points, especially if the opening weekend was anything to go by from a Liverpool perspective. But Trent has a very good record of scoring against Chelsea, so expect points. Next up is Newcastle skipper Jamal Lascelles lining up with a home game against Brighton. Newcastle are one of the teams that really impressed me during the opening game week, and I do think that they're going to get consecutive clean sheets. For the first time this season, Ezri Konsa lines up in my team as he hosts Sheffield United and comes in for Ender Stevens. Aston Villa looked a little bit more defensively solid towards the end of last year and naturally got a 0-0 against Sheffield United with the infamous goal that wasn't given because VAR and goal line technology was not working at the time, but I do feel that they'll have a point to prove and want to get off to a decent start in their season. Konsa was one of the reasons why Villa became a bit more secure at the back towards the end of last year, and I fancy him to do something again. And last of all in defence is James Justin, who obviously got himself an assist as well as a clean sheet against West Bromwich Albion in the opening game week, and he will be hosting Burnley. Not known for their goal scoring prowess, but obviously difficult to break down, so maybe a week for defenders in that game. In the midfield, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang picks himself as he hosts West Ham, who have a notoriously bad record against the Big Six, especially away from home. The Gabonese striker is in free-flowing form right now, and even though he didn't have his best performance, he still scored on the opening weekend against Fulham. And as my placeholder for the time being, this may be the last appearance he makes for a little while in the team. It's hard to really ignore Mohamed Salah after his opening day heroics with a hat-trick against Leeds United. He will also be lining up against Chelsea, along with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Again, another Liverpool player that has a pretty decent record against the Blues, although away from home, nowhere near as prolific as he is at Anfield, so not really a shout for captaincy this week. Next was James Ward-Prowse, who's obviously got a home game against Tottenham. I'm looking for him to bounce back from a pretty disappointing performance against Crystal Palace and start whipping in some better and more promising free kicks and corners. He was very disappointing for the dead ball, which is one of the main reasons why I picked him in the opening game week. And then it would be new signing James Rodriguez lining up against West Brom, who really struggled in the opening game week at home to Leicester. It may still be early days for the Everton midfielder, but I do fancy him to come out with something. I think he's a bit of a jump in quality from anything else Everton have, and certainly a jump up in quality from anything West Brom have. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a goal or assist this weekend. And next up is Alexander Mitrovic, who should be returning to the Fulham starting lineup after he's had a full week of first team training. I do worry a little bit for Mitrovic in the sense that Fulham aren't Liverpool and Leeds had a very good defensive record last year. These teams will know each other quite well though from the Championship. And rounding up the lineup is of course Danny Ings, who will be taking on Tottenham at St Mary's. The England international got off to a quiet start in that game against Crystal Palace, but nearly scored with his only real moment of quality during the game in the last minute as Vincent Guaita managed to save from him. I do fancy he's going to pick up something this week against the Tottenham defence that looked a little bit shaky and don't cope well with being pressed, which is Southampton's main game. So I'm expecting big things of Danny this weekend. I need them. We all do. And then on the bench is Nyland, Ayew, Stevens and Stevens, ironically. And so that is it, my Game Week 2 team. Let me know how yours is lining up, unless you want to keep it secret because you are in the MikeRo Invitational. It's still not too late to join it. We have 50 people in there as it stands. It may even be 51 today. I don't know. I haven't checked because I'm too ashamed to look at the table and see that I'm 17th in my own league. It's so good to have fantasy football back. Remember, deadline is Saturday the 19th of September at 11 AM, so make sure you make your changes before then. If you have enjoyed this video or you found it useful, then please drop a like on it below, comment, subscribe, share out, let everyone know about it. Help me continue to grow this channel and this community. And until I see you for another episode of my FPL series or one of the FM videos on the channel, take care of yourselves everyone and stay cool.